Good morning or good evening. I am Jack Porcello once again coming to you from the studio at Club 67. And I am representing File Under Popular on WAYO LP Rochester WAYO 104.3 FM and wayofm.org. I'm here to talk about the show that will be broadcast on March 15th of 2022. I'm recording this on the 14th of March, Pi Day, and I have pie in the fridge waiting for later on today, and hooray for physics, Pi Day. Sine, cosine, cosine, sine, 3.14159. We all know the cheer. Let's have some pie. But before we get into that luxury dessert, I'm going to talk about tomorrow's show, or today's show, or yesterday's show. It all depends on when you are listening to and or watching this. Time's a funny thing, especially daylight savings time. We saved daylight, didn't we? Daylight's the same. Just get up a little earlier, or get up a little later, or get up whenever you want to. I know some of you go to work and go to school, so you are scheduled, so maybe this helps you, but I've never understood it. Daylight savings time, I've never lived on the farm. I've never milked the chickens. I've never had to go out and feed the armadillos, so I don't really know what's going on. So, instead, I'm going to talk to you about the show, and the show begins after, of course, Milano Percosso by Aksak Mabul, as every one of my shows begin. We then move into Vacuum Treehead. Vacuum Treehead, unfortunately, having met its demise in 2019, but Jason Berry kept it alive. And Jason Berry, in his generosity, sent me a stack of CDs again last week. Among them, a lot of Vacuum Treehead, which I enjoy very much. The CD that I'm opening the show is called Asra, and it includes a generous amount of talent, amazing amount of talent. The track that I'm playing from this album is called Adonai, and it includes Keith Abrams on drum kit, Richard Barber on electric piano, Jason Berry himself, and he's playing synthesizer, electronics, and Mellotron. How I miss the Mellotron. It was so wonderful in the 70s. Everybody who was anybody had a Mellotron. The Mellotron, a fabulous keyboard instrument made of, I don't know if it's samples now, but it used to be tapes. You pressed a key and a tape head pressed against a tape loop, and it made a sound, whatever you wanted to program into the Mellotron. It might be samples now. I don't know. I haven't seen a Mellotron in a while. The Mellotron. Ross Bonadonna on bass clarinet. Tim Burns on trumpet and synthesizer. Michael De La Cuestra on vibraphone. Christopher Meter on tuba. Andy Anonymous on piano. John Kenneth Press on drum kit and rototoms. And Thomas Scandura on shaker. This seems to me like it might be a collective imprompt, because the composers are listed as pretty much everybody. So this is from Asra. And on the cover of the inside liner notes is one of my favorite sayings. It's turtles all the way. Turtles all the way down. On the back, Russell, fix me a cup of tea. The one thing I love about Vacuum Treehead and Nudberg Ensemble is the humor. I love humor in my media. That's why I love physical media. And physical media like that which is provided by Jason Berry and Vacuum Treehead and Nudbug Ensemble is so full of this humor. Thank you so much, Jason, for this great package. The show then continues with something that was provided for me digitally, so I don't have anything to show and tell, but I can tell and tell it is the United Isolation Ensemble. This was introduced to me by those wonderful creative people, Adam and Amy Naworals. And the Naworals, is it Naworals plural? It's hard to tell these days. A lot of plurals are just the word. So Naworals, the artist currently known as Naworals, got together with many other artists and they created the United Isolation Ensemble. And the United Isolation Ensemble is a bunch of people that get together for the purpose of making music remotely in isolation. And Adam and Amy and Jim Tetlow and a bunch of others get together. And when they make music, the title of their music is anagrams of their names. So I am going to play for you A La Trowel Towel, A La Trowel Toe, which is Jim Tetlow and Adam Naworals, and A Rash Law 1, which is Amy Naworals. Amy Naworals is getting together on that track. I should have probably prepared a little better, but I think some of you enjoy my meandering. Maybe not all of you. Some of you are probably really bummed out by having to sit and listen to my meandering. But A Rash Law 1 is Amy Naworals and Walt Shaw. So thank you very much for putting up with my nonsense. Next up, once again, another digital piece, Lorenzo Montagna, Between Worlds, out of his ambient release, Descent. Lorenzo Montagna is known for movie soundtracks and theatrical flourishes, fabulous pieces that he has done. You might recognize some of his music from the trailer of The Hunger Games, Part 1 and 2, Blade Runner 2049, Coriolanus, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Coriolanus, and more. Good movie. I don't know how things are pronounced in Latin. I can read Latin. I can't speak Latin. Studied Latin. I don't know how Latin is pronounced. I don't know really anybody alive who really knows truly how Latin is pronounced. But anyway, Lorenzo Montagna, tremendous theatrical trailer and soundtrack collaborator. And this is from Descent. I'm going to play the track tomorrow night, Between Worlds. Next, we're going to go to Feral Luggage, another release that was sent to me digitally, so I have nothing to show you. You can find a lot of this stuff on Bandcamp if you want to look at it. Blue and Abstraction is the name of this release, and these are live tracks. From this release, I'm going to play a track from Feral Luggage and a track from Diaspora Foci Trio, their sister band. These tracks, one of them is A Dance for Raw, that's from Feral Luggage, and The Stars Shine Down from Diaspora Foci Trio. This is the work of the Pontecorvo people. Mika Pontecorvo is the leader of the pack. We have, along with Mika, Elijah Pontecorvo and Adrian Pontecorvo. We have Colleen Kelly, Patrick Telesfore, Mark Pino, Kirsty Abrams. A lot of people here from the San Francisco area bringing you music. We're looking at experimental folk, future folk, null wave, punk jazz from San Francisco, originally coming from the Eastern European area. After that, we go to Guy Seger's, the long-awaited Eclectic Maybe Bands third album. It's kind of fuzzy here, but you can look it up on Bandcamp. The name of this album is Again Allures, and Discus Records was kind enough to send me a copy ahead of time, but you can get a copy yourself now. I am going to play a couple tracks tomorrow night from this album. One that we have been hearing for a long time. This is called A Beast Trophy. It's been out for a while. It's been released a few times on Bandcamp after a few adjustments and tweaks. We have Pierre Bernard on flute, Dirk Dieschemeyer on clarinet and bass clarinet, Dave Newhouse, baritone, tenor, alto, and soprano saxophones and bass clarinet, with Guy Seger on bass and virtual drums, and Sigrid Vandenbergard on cello. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Amazing group of musicians. And then Smudgy Cartography. This is a collective improv. We've got Pierre Bernard on flute, Michael Deville on e-guitar, Joe Higman on clarinet, Guy Seger on bass, Catherine Smet on piano, and Dirk Wachtelaar on drums. It's recorded on the 26th of September, 2021 in the Studio AC Belgium by Dirk de Meers. This is going to be an interesting part of the evening, I am certain, and I'm sure that we'll all enjoy it. Alrighty, we're going back to Vacuum Treehead for the next couple of tracks. This is from Botafogo's in Shadow Position as I hold this in my hand. Another disc that came in that generous package from Jason Berry. Okay, the tracks from this CD are DL/DS and Cushion Fortress. And the neat little booklet that came with this this disc is also a fun little booklet that has lots of great humor. The physical content is so fabulous with these artists, I tell you. There's also a great little video drop on Jason Berry's and Amanda Chaudhry's YouTube channels, and I'm going to try to get a link to that on this channel, of them being interviewed by the Red Robot, talking about the newest release of the Nudbug ensemble that I've been playing tracks from Blame. And it's so cool. It's so much fun. You check it out. But what I'm playing for you tonight, or tomorrow night rather, in the interpretation of time, DL/DS, looks like a collective improv. Richard Barber on bassoon, Jason Berry on soprano saxophone, Kyle Bruckman on English horn, Amanda Chaudhry on synthesizer, electric piano, Michael De La Questra on synthesizer, Richard Lesnick on clarinet and bass clarinet, Justin Markovitz on drum kit, Thullum McDonough on electric piano, Amy X. Newberg on voice, and Stephen Wright, electric bass guitar. What You Got to Be Like That For? Bellicose and bothered on the corner, judging all the people as they glide by. That man, there he stands. He's so free-thinking, with a beg to jar them in. That's the lyrics. And then we have Cushion Fortress, another what looks like collective improv. Richard Barber bassoon, Kyle Bruckman oboe, Amanda Chaudhry electric piano and mellotron, Michael De La Questra synthesizer, orchestral chimes, Richard Lesnick bass clarinet, Justin Markovitz on drum kit, Thullum McDonough on electric piano, Amy X. Newberg on voice, Stephen Wright, electric bass guitar. Oh, samurai, spy you with my harmless eye through the tiny window of my hiding in the dining room of whom and why. It's a child's eye, never understanding why they all die. Vacuum Treehead, Botafogos in Shadow Position, the tracks that I'll play tomorrow night. DL/DS and Cushion Fortress, and then we get to the long track for the evening. It's Volker Lankow off of his late drop from some time ago. And the name of the drop is Ambient Landscapes. We are going to play Swimming in a Lake of Drones from Volker Lankow. This came out in 2018. And some drones, textures, and ambient constructions for boring times and relaxation is what Volker Lankow says. Constructed, performed, and recorded and produced by Volker Lankow. Volker Lankow plays percussions and electronics. I was thinking this might be a nice diversion from all of the things that are going on in the world today. So I hope you enjoy this. And then at the end, a recent single release, not recorded recently, but Motoko Honda, Remembrance. This is a very special track by Motoko Honda. This is in honor of Remembrance Day, recorded on March 11th, 2021. Dedicated to all people that they love and lost in their lives, recorded on March 11th, 2021, exactly 10 years after the Japan Tohoku earthquake and tsunami disaster, which struck her hometown, Sendai City, on March 11th, 2011. Motoko Honda had grown up in Sendai, Japan, the closest city to the epicenter of that earthquake and tsunami, and this was her way of remembering. And that was our closer for the show, and then we finish up with La Fille de Grand Compositeur by ZNR. So that's March 15th of 2022 on File Under Popular. I'm Jack Porcello, signing off from the studio at Club 67 for WAYO-LP Rochester. Come back next week and see what I've got filed away.